Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's the dawning of a very special day, the 28th of October, which represents an important, defining national day for all Greeks and all of those who value freedom throughout the world. On the 28th of October 1940, Mussolini, who was the general and leader of the Italian army and a co-conspirator with Adolf Hitler and the Nazi forces, decided to send an envoy to Greece with a letter. And an envoy at 3 o'clock in the morning turned up at the Prime Minister's house in Athens with a threat. And the threat was that if the Greeks did not agree to allow free passage to the Italian army to pass through, over and around Greece, through its territorial waters, through its land and its airspace, then it would be war with Greece. And we're talking about a significant military might, a significant military power, because back in those days, the Italians had a huge air force, had a huge navy, and had a very, very powerful military footprint. And Mussolini, who was a dictator, sided with Hitler and was part of the Axis forces. And the Prime Minister of Greece, on hearing and reading the request or the demand, should I have, or the threat, immediately said, "OXI, OXI," which in Greek means no. And for those who understand human behaviour and human psychology, the word no is the most powerful word in the Greek language and in any language, to put it into perspective. OXI, which meant that Greece was at war with Italy. Psorokostina, a poor country that didn't have weapons, didn't have strength, didn't have a powerful military footprint. It was a David and Goliath struggle, and the Greeks would need to do all they could, because what had happened is that Hitler, in a matter of days, conquered a number of military powers throughout Europe. I think France he defeated in a day. The Danes, the mighty Vikings that people seem to hold very, very highly in terms of being a powerful race, submitted by just having an envoy turn up with a letter, and the king submitted and gave his crown to the envoy. Hitler was very, very powerful and was planning on a war with the then power Russia, and he was moving his forces through the northern parts of Europe and would have taken over Russia very, very quickly and defeated Russia, given the blitzkrieg and the momentum that he had generated. Admittedly, Mussolini did what he did with Greece to assist Hitler and to take over the southern part of Europe and to do a massive pincer movement where he would go from the south, Hitler would go from the north, and they'd converge on on Russia from both sides. So on the 28th of October 1940, the church bells throughout all of Greece tolled incessantly. The news was out that Greece was at war with Italy, and that Greece was fighting a very, very strong foe, and that the world was terrified. The English, the Polish, everybody was terrified of Hitler because of the might and power that he had displayed, defeating massive countries with unbelievable amount of power and just neutralizing them in days. The bells tolled, and all the Greeks, all the young men who were at fighting age, came together to defend Greece, and the Prime Minister, Metaxas, implored and ordered all Greeks to fight like they've never fought before, to protect Greece, to protect the women and children, and to protect everything that was worth protecting. My grandfather, Petros Kalpaxis, answered the call, just like many other young men answered the call. And as we said, Greece was not a military power of any significance. I was at the church at Blacktown yesterday, where my Uncle George and Auntie Frida were patrons and contributed a lot of money to the building and the establishment of that church. It's named Agia Paraskevi and Varvara. And the priest there, the new priest, said that there is two things that the Greeks won't accept. The first thing is to be slaves, to be enslaved to anyone. And the second thing is to be threatened. So what happened back then is that the Greeks engaged the mighty Italian forces in the Pindus ranges up in northern Greece and issued the first defeat to the Axis forces. And it made headlines throughout the world, and it gave the world hope during a time where nobody had any hope and everybody was terrified of Hitler, Mussolini, and the momentum that they had generated. Whilst other forces had succumbed in days or hours to the blitzkrieg and to the fighting and the power of Germany, Greece resisted and forced Hitler to change his plans, to have to come down south and to teach the Greeks a lesson which lost him momentum, and many say was a turning point of World War II. Anyway, take care, we'll chat again, and bye for now. Zito.